I love being outside. Do you ever stop and listen to the sound of the breeze through the trees? It's something that most of us take for granted. I listen though. I love the feel of a cool breeze and then taking a deep breath. For most of my life, I never gave that a second thought. All of that has changed now.
Hi, I'm Chuck Boetsch, and because of a lot of very special people, I'm able to share my story with you.
I'm often asked about how my journey to transplant began, and it really began back in 2013 after struggling to really catch a deep breath. Normally I'd been very active and very fit and had no trouble doing virtually anything I wanted to do, but found myself in a situation where I really could not catch a full breath, and for some reason I thought I was out of shape. I lived with that for a while until things were not getting better, and I went to see a doctor in the Chicago area who gave me the diagnosis of idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. At that time, the doctor told me that the life expectancy was roughly 3 to 5 years. And I asked, of course, well, what's the treatment or what's the cure? And surprisingly, she said there was no treatment or no cure. At that time, I also had one big thing working against me, which the doctor told me was age. And being transplanted above the age of 65 was not a common occurrence.
We were shocked. We didn't have any options for treatment, so there was always worry.
But concurrently, I was also being seen at Mayo Clinic as Robin and I were living part-time between the north and the south.
Chuck needed a lung transplant. We all knew that. We also knew that it's not easy to get a lung donor. Not everybody gets it. We have all these people across the globe, not just within the confines of this country, who need organs desperately. On an average, only about 20 to 30% of donor organs or donor lungs are usable. There are a lot of people who don't make it to that transplant and who unfortunately pass while waiting on the list. So we have to do things to improve the odds of our recipients getting donor organs.
The question came up, would I be interested in participating in a clinical trial that was dealing with ex vivo lung perfusion lungs?
EVLP, or ex vivo lung perfusion, provides us the ability to assess donor lungs which were deemed non-viable or not usable, treat those lungs and see if they are usable at the end of that process. This technology is still relatively young. In this country, the trials have happened in the last few years, and we at Mayo Clinic have been at the forefront of those trials. We've had this partnership with Lung Bioengineering all these years.
The difference that Lung Bioengineering provides is our team of experts has a dedicated focus specifically to ex vivo lung perfusion. We're able to assess how the lung is actually performing. So as the transplant center takes in all of this information that we're providing, they're able to then make a decision whether or not that lung will meet the needs of their particular patient.
Typically, for learning whether the lungs are viable or not, we have had very few hours, from procuring the lung from the donor and then placing them in the recipient's body. EVLP is a technology that can extend the time into by many hours. Many times, these processes that are limiting our ability to accept those lungs off the bat, they are reversible processes, and with treatment, a little extra time, those lungs become viable and usable. It gives us an opportunity to use these lungs that we were discarding in the past.
We're hoping that with the collaboration with Mayo Clinic, that we can partner together to influence the future of EVLP technologies.
The lungs that we've been using for ex vivo lung perfusion, the restoration process was based in Maryland, and then we would ship the lungs from Maryland and transplant it here. That's how Chuck got his transplant. Now we have this technology here on this campus.
On behalf of Mayo Clinic, we together would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you as we celebrate the grand opening of this Discovery and Innovation Building. Incredible facility that allow us to do things that only 5-6 years ago we might not have imagined.
I believe the key to doubling the number of lung transplants in the United States is this joint partnership with the Mayo Clinic.
The potential of this facility is that we can restore these damaged lungs here at Mayo Clinic, use them for our patients, but not just for our patients, but also for patients across the country.
Having a relationship with Lung Bioengineering allow us to apply some of the new findings in the laboratory to make the lungs survive better, to apply stem cell to treat the lungs and to enhance the lung to survive longer. The future is very bright and very exciting.
The better part of 900 additional lungs will be made available through this facility. When you couple that with the 1,200 lungs that are available through the facility in Silver Spring, that's 2,100 lungs. And considering that there are, roughly 2,400 lung transplants during the course of the year, that's a significant increase in itself. So while I've already been blessed and fortunate enough to have received mine, there are many other people that will have the opportunity to benefit from the technology as well.
More and more, we will not have as many patients die on the waiting list. This technology has the potential to redefine transplant.
Waking up from surgery and taking my first breath was a feeling I will never forget. The swell of emotions that occurred, I don't think I've ever felt anything like that before in my life.
He was here to walk his daughter down the aisle a few months ago. That was something that we didn't know if he'd make, and he did. I love him so much. I think we'll have many years to come.
Life for me now is in the best place it possibly could be. I don't take it for granted. It's a blessing and a gift.